Welcome back to Artober TV. I'm Erin Holcomb. This week, we are highlighting two very special events. In today's episode, we sit down with Beth Inglish, a Nashville-based artist. We will discuss her upcoming one-woman show on Friday, October 28th. Then, we'll hear from Cheekwood's Vice President of Gardens and Facilities, Peter Grimaldi. He will give us the scoop behind the details and design for Cheekwood Harvest.
Okay. So I have a one-woman show coming up on Friday, October 28th, and it's going to be at Riverside Revival, and it's going to be a message of hope. It's going to be something that people can connect to because we all know what it feels like to go through the ups and downs in life. We all know what it feels like to face anxiety and to face fears. I just did it in a way where I use creativity to help me express those fears, to help me release those fears, and to find joy. And so the whole one-woman show is a journey in that process of going through a tough time and figuring out how to get through it and using art as a way to connect to my voice. The audience can expect to laugh, to cry, to connect to themselves, and to be entertained. I play guitar and I sing original music. I show and talk about paintings that I've created. I also do stand-up comedy, so there's some jokes in the mix of the entire speech, and it's just a lot of fun. And I think that they can feel themselves in the stories, that they can feel themselves connect to a deep sense of peace within them and see a pathway for change. If there's something that they want to see different in their lives, then I'm going to inspire them to see exactly what they need to do next. So I've been working for the last 8 months at creating the most dynamic and inspiring talk that I could ever create. And so it's my biggest creative work yet because I involve my painting, my comedy, my storytelling, my life story, my heart. It's such a vulnerable experience, but I think that's why I love it so much, because not only am I giving back to the audience, but they're giving back to me, and we're having this connection in the room during the show. For a one-woman show for my birthday, I wanted it to be a little extra special. And so I decided to name it Breathing Underwater, because I talk about being a scuba diver and finding my breath, and how the breath is the foundation for how we connect to ourselves, which is how we connect to our creativity. And so the breath is sort of like a through line in the entire script, in the entire speech. And because of that, John Partapillo shot a photograph of me underwater as a way to promote the show and to show how even underwater, when we can't breathe, obviously, we can still feel a deep sense of peace. And so that's what the photograph was hoping to communicate, was this peacefulness while we're underwater. And I think it came out really great. I decided that for my 40th, I wanted to give back to the community. I wanted to share my story and how art has been such a powerful influence in my life. I wanted to inspire people to be creative, because I know how healing it can be when we pick up a paintbrush or write our story in a journal or speak our truth from a stage. There is nothing that creativity can't help us change in our lives. And if we want to really dig in deep and share who we are and express ourselves in the most authentic way, I believe that the arts can help us get there. So all the ticket sales, all the sponsorship dollars, 100% of it goes to the Sexual Assault Center. And if you can come to the show, I would just love it if you would buy a ticket, or if you can't come to the show, make a donation, because all of the money goes to help them. You can buy tickets or make donations at bethenglish.com/events, and you'll see my event page, and you'll get all the information that you need about the show. You'll see pictures of me doing the show in other venues, and so it's really exciting. It's a great cause, and it's a great night, and I just hope that you are able to come and support this work, creativity. And if creativity has been a powerful force in your life, I just want you to tap back into that and start telling people about it, because I believe that we all want to feel a deep sense of peace. And I believe that if we can connect to the Creator inside of us and express ourselves, then we're going to connect to that peace.
Cheekwood Harvest is our annual fall celebration of the season and the end of the spring and summer display in the garden, and began at least 6 or 7 years ago as a simple expression of chrysanthemums. It's a fall classic, and pumpkins, right? Both of which are typically expected in any harvest or fall display. And it has grown to rival even our spring blooms celebration in popularity. And so the size and scope of the display has grown as well to make it larger and more dynamic for a growing audience. So if you consider two components, the mums and the pumpkins, the mums are a bit more artistically woven into the bones of the summer planting plan. So the summer annuals reside or persist in the color garden, and we know which of those plant selections are going to perform better later into the season and even survive the first few lighter frosts. And so we kind of starting there and then carve out those plants which we don't expect to perform as well, and we replace those with mums and pumpkins. And so we've even begun exploring pumpkin arrangements on the ground as just another ground treatment to create more contrast between the remaining summer annuals and the mums. So we plant several thousand, between 3,000 and 5,000 mums every year to find a nice balance between still being complementary to the horticultural expressions, the shapes and the colors in the color garden, and then also just have that wow factor. And the pumpkins is more about just piling as many pumpkins on as possible. However, we have 3 houses now, proper pumpkin village. We were confident that with the addition of the 3rd structure, we could call it a village. We're very excited for that. And so they're simple metal frames constructed of square metal tubing, and then the pumpkins are supported by a steel ring with a simple friction clamp that slides up and down that square tubing. So you have infinite adjustment vertically, and then you are somewhat more limited laterally as you move across the face of each house. But they started as the first pumpkin house and the second pumpkin house were simple, classically proportioned structures with gabled roofs, and it's a house. And we work with a local craftsman, Johnny Woolsey. Woolsey Metal Art has built all 3 of our pumpkin houses. He's kind of our pumpkin house guy. And so this year with the 3rd structure, we wanted to try something a little bit different. We went with a hexagonal structure, and so the proportions are it's a bit shorter and squatter. It's 3,000 and 5,000 mums and well over 10,000 pumpkins. But not to say that some of what we're doing at Cheekwood isn't perfectly relevant to what you might do at home on the front porch. I mean, all it takes is a couple bales of wheat straw, a few potted mums and some pumpkins, and you've got a fall vignette to, announce the season.
Don't miss your chance to see Cheekwood Harvest before it closes this coming Sunday, October 30th. For more information about either of these events, visit ArtoberNashville.com. We'll see y'all next Monday on Artober TV.